So sometimes when you're modeling in Blender, you're going to run into weird shading errors when you're using booleans, bevels, and things like that. So for example, I'll give you a really practical example here, then we're going to dive a bit deeper. Sometimes when you run a bevel like this, you might see that on the ends of the bevel, you have this weird sharp marking right here. Now, the ends of the bevel are what we call the holding edge. You never really want to mess or dissolve out the holding edges on the bevel, right? So here you're going to see this has like a weird line going across it. And the reason for that is that before I added this bevel right here, before I added this, we actually had, if I remove this seam, we actually had a sharp marking attached to it. Now, just to kind of show you what sharp does, if I were to go in here and shade auto smooth on this cylinder, and I just selected this edge right here, and I marked it as sharp, this would display a physical sharp marking right there on the edge. Now, kind of the main reason this feature even exists in Blender is for situations where the auto smooth doesn't capture the angle as you want. And I'll give you a really practical example here. Let's say I had this cube right here, and then I ran a Boolean at a very, very steep or shallow angle rather, kind of like this. We'll do that. And you're going to see I obviously have my shade auto smooth right here, but you're going to see this edge right here is not being picked up. Now, obviously I can go in, I can adjust the angle here, and eventually it might, capture. It's a bit glitchy right now. I don't know why it's doing that. But, eventually I have to go like super, super shallow on this. But let's say I had a bevel here in the back, right? If I had a bevel here in the back and I had to adjust this really, really low, okay, I adjusted the auto smooth and this picked up, but as a result, these are now shaded flat because the angle just isn't working together very well, right? You can kind of mess with that. In this case, I actually got it working, but if this was like super, super shallow, you really have to adjust that angle, and then it's eventually just going to mess with this area. So kind of the, main reason Blender invented this sharp marking to begin with is kind of for situations like this, where I can basically go in, for example, I can keep the angle as I want, we'll apply that Boolean, but here, since the angle isn't being captured without affecting this side, I could actually just go in and simply right click and manually mark that as sharp. That's kind of the main reason that feature exists in the first place. That's really the only reason you would use that essentially. Now, back to what I was discussing before, notice these sharp edges here on the bevel, right? The reason that's happening is because I had a sharp marking applied. Let's just add another one here. I had a sharp marking applied here to the bottom, right? So whenever I beveled that, this edge right here splits into two holding edges, one right here on the bevel and then one right here on the bevel. It splits that edge into two holding edges, which is going to hold or kind of maintain that sharp marking. So there's two ways to fix this, three ways to fix this actually. You can either go to the holding edges of the bevel and clear the sharp, and that's going to remove that weird, edge, that weird line right there. Notice if I clear the sharp, can do this with overlays turned off, it goes away. That's one way to do it. It's a bit slow. The other way to do it is to make sure there's no sharp before you add the bevel, right? So you can go in and then bevel that without the sharp, and it won't be there in the first place. And kind of the third way you could do this, if you're using something like hard ops, for example, is you can actually, let me mark the sharp here. You don't even need to undo this manually. You can actually use a feature in hard ops, for example, called recalculate. If I control shift click on recalculate, it'll recalculate that sharp marking. However, and I want to be very clear here, this will not work if your hard ops settings under sharpening does not have sharp turned on. If this is turned off, when I recalculate it, it will only recalculate whatever I have turned on here. So for example, if I had a seam, it would remove that seam. But here, if I turn sharp on, now the angle's different because I added the bevel. So when I recalculate it, it'll remove that sharp because it's no longer within that angle threshold. So that's kind of how you can solve that problem with weird markings on your bevels and situations like this where you actually need a physical sharp marking, right? Now let's dive a little bit deeper here. Let's say I had a cube. We'll go ahead and just add a bevel here in the cube. Oops. We'll move this up a little bit, hide that. And then let's just add in a bevel modifier, okay? Now you might not really see it immediately, but if I were to go into a more unforgiving matte cap, you're gonna see that the flat area has a little bit of a shading distortion here, and it'll be even more obvious if I added in, for example, a bevel right here. You see that? See right here we have this weird shading error, versus if I deleted it, we don't have a shading error at all. See that right there? It's going to be even more obvious with like a reflective one. You can kind of see it there. I don't know how well it's showing with YouTube's compression, but it should be pretty obvious that there is a shading distortion right here. Now, I made videos on this before, but the whole reason this is occurring has to do with vertex normals. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll just apply this Boolean right here. If I go into my vertex mode, and let me just go back to a normal matte cap, and I go to these vertex normals here, I actually need to apply the bevel as well, so I can access that bevel geometry. So if I apply the bevel, you're going to see the holding edge of the bevel right here. I have it selected, it's on the side though. The holding edge of this bevel is not 90 degrees. This area right here, on the holding edge, these weird lines coming out, they're not 90 degrees, right? They look 90 degrees, but they're actually slightly bent. If you zoom in, you can see those are slightly bent, right? Now, what's going to happen is if I add in a weighted normal, if I go in here to normals and then weighted normal, this is actually going to fix the shading problem. I'm going to go in here and show you so you can really see it. Right there, you can see the shading problem. The moment I add in the weighted normal, it's gone. And that is because if I apply the weighted normal and then I go back to this holding edge right here, that weighted normal forces those to be perfectly 90 degrees. You can see those are 90 degrees now versus before. If I undo that, you just remove the weighted normal. These are clearly not 90 degrees. This is before, and then when I add in the weighted normal, this is the after. They're perfectly 90 degrees, so that makes the shading cleaned up. So that's another situation where you might have weird shading distortions or weird markings on your model. Now, a third situation has to do with curved surfaces. So let me add in a cylinder for this example. This is going to be way easier to demonstrate. I'm going to go ahead and shade that auto smooth, and I'm just going to rotate this, and let's just go ahead and add in a Boolean. Obviously, when you add a Boolean on a curved surface like this, for example, let me bevel that. When I add in a Boolean on a curved surface, we have very, very obvious shading distortions here. It'll be a lot more obvious if I have like a reflective matte cap here. You see that? And then if I add in the bevel, same type of idea. Now, in this particular situation, let me apply the Boolean. That's just applied. If I add a weighted normal, this will not fix the problem. And that's because this is not a flat surface. This is a curved surface, which has a completely different problem altogether. And the problem here simply has to do with the fact that this polygon right here is bent. If I duplicate this, okay, I'm going to duplicate this and just move it out, and then I'll just separate this by selection. This right here, obviously this is a single face. Maybe I should duplicate, a couple of these so you can really see it better. Separate that. You're going to see this is not flat. This is a bent polygon, which is causing that shading distortion. And kind of the best way to demonstrate this to you is if I add in a plane here, maybe I give it just make this into an n-gon, right? And then I move this up, move this down. What I essentially did here is I bent this polygon, which created this weird distortion. That's essentially what's happening here. This has nothing to do with weighted normals. That won't fix the problem. Here, there's really only two ways to fix it. Three ways, actually. The first one is to have good topology to begin with. And I'll kind of show you the first example. The first way to fix this is to just, have quads and, good topology here essentially. So I'll kind of give you an example. If I had a cylinder, maybe I had 16 segments here, I rotated this, and I won't spend too much time, messing with this. But say, for example, I had this, right? And then I don't know, deleted this area out here. And then we'll just go ahead, let me fill that in. And then this area here, I can just do like a grid fill, right? I can do a grid fill there. Now if I run, a sub D on it, obviously I can get in, I can add in like isolation loops, things like that. But this is kind of the first way you would fix it, is simply by having, clean quad-based topology. You wouldn't have that shading distortion. The second way here, and the way I've always taught with a hard surface modeling workflow, is to simply have more geometry to isolate the shading. So for example, if I just undo this all the way back, here before I even apply this Boolean, if I just have additional geometry, right? Now when I add in that additional geometry here, the shading distortions are kind of isolated to these small n-gons and triangles on the inside. So they're technically still there. They're just not as visible. You can kind of see it, but they're not as visible because I have way denser geometry here. So that's kind of the way I recommend fixing it, especially if you're just doing rendering or things like that. And then the third way you can fix it, which isn't as practical, is with a data transfer modifier. If you want to learn that strategy, I'll put the thumbnail on the screen here. I show you how the data transfer modifier works in that tutorial. That's kind of the third way to fix it, but it's not as practical really. So there's going to be all sorts of situations where you run into shading errors, like weird lines on your object, shading glitches. And this simply boils down to whether you have markings, what your angles are set to, and how, the Booleans are working. Is it on a curved surface? Do you need a weighted normal modifier? These are little technical situations you need to understand, so that way when you run into these problems, you kind of know how to fix them. Now, if you're new to Blender, new to hard surface modeling, I would highly recommend getting our accelerator program. This is the best program on the market for hard surface modeling. We'll teach you our entire workflow in under 2 weeks with about 30 to 60 minutes per day of practice, and you'll get results just like our students have done here very, very quickly without wasting a ton of time on YouTube and crappy tutorials. So if you want to learn our full workflow from scratch, check out our hard surface accelerator program in the link in the top of the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.